So you wanted a peek in my sewing room. I have projects and projects all going on all at the same time. It's simply how my brain works. Oftentimes I have piles of things I'm working on or thinking, and so look at me cleaning. I'm cleaning just for you because I am about to give you a tour of my perfectly clean sewing room. My room is designed with the triangle. Everything I've ever read, it's efficient to have a triangle to sew, and it is. I love having my cutting table right here where I just flip right over and sew, iron, press, and then back to the cutting table. My cutting table is just the right height for me ergonomically. It makes it so I don't get tired very easily. I sit here and this drawer has everything I need. I left it messy for those of you who need a self-esteem boost. All the stuff I need is in here. There's only about 6 or 7 things, and it's thin and it's narrow, so it's a big mess, but if I shut it, it looks just wonderful. I love stemware, and so I'm drinking Olipop. I don't drink wine, but I love the glasses on this beautiful mug rug that my friend gave me. I'm going to start on one corner of my sewing room, and we're going to go around. I call this my knick-knacky stuff corner. Okay, I don't call it anything, but it has knick-knacky stuff. These little jars, I just love them, so I saved them up from these little jams I got. And buckets, this holds my special pens that mark things. This is the wall at the end of my sewing table where I have my lamp and of course my brother's sewing machine. This wall of tubs is beside me and behind me as I sew. And up above, these are all of my scraps that you've seen many times in videos. I keep them right there. I use them all the time and get them out. And it really is efficient to have them here. This novelty one is overflowing, which is totally against my rules. So you know some quilts are going to have to come out of that tub right away. I love having these tubs labeled. This makes it so I use my scraps all the time. These top 2 tubs are from a fabric rep. She had samples of fabric lines, and they're the most fun to make charity quilts with. So I bought a bunch at a garage sale from her. Next, I have a couple of tubs of long-term projects, and I'm still working on them. Below, I have antique fabrics. Aunt Laverne has long since deceased, but I inherited some of her fabrics, and I bought some antique fabrics to go with them. These all have different purposes, and I'll show you some up close. This one is the thread I use to piece with. I cheat. I don't know if it's cheating, but I always use pre-wound bobbins. It's one of the ways I spoil myself. I love patterns. I try to only keep patterns that I love so much I think I'm going to make them again, or that will inspire me in the future, like this darling car one. I have all my loose patterns there. Of course, I have books upstairs. I have a couple here. This is a box with lace in it. Here's my rickrack. It's purchased mostly from thrift stores. I love to play with rickrack. This is triangles in a roll and different methods of triangles. I don't use them a lot, but I do use them. And then I have books that I just have downstairs because I'm either going to make something from them or I'm in the middle of something that I'm making from them. Lace. We're going to have a video about lace one day, and for those of you who've hung out with me very much, you've seen this. I'm not going to show it to you in depth. I just want you to see it's all kinds of amazing, wonderful laces. You know I adore cross stitch. I have 2 tubs of cross stitch that I'm going to use to beautify the world someday. We have videos about that if you want to check them out. I keep my scraps in this white tub, and as I create them, I put them in to sort later. More pre-wound bobbins. I buy them in bulk because it's a great thing to do. And then canned air. How did we ever survive without canned air to blow at dust? I don't know, but I love it. This is just silly stuff. These I bought in Hawaii. They're just things I bought by the pound, and I'm going to play with them any minute now. And of course, you have to have your secret hidden stash of treats to eat in case you can't make it to the kitchen because you've been working so hard. This just holds miscellaneous things like to ship. It has my tapes and my extra spray bottle, etc. Okay, this one is ridiculous. I can't break it up because it's from a project I already finished, but I love it so much I might want to make more, so it just sits there. Then we have ours and next. That means our video stuff. It's top secret. This tub represents years of work. It's my happy place. These are all of the embroideries that I've made over the years for different times in different seasons that I haven't made into quilts yet. I just love this tub. Every single project has a story of why it's there and why I made it and what I was thinking, and I plan to make quilts out of them. I will make quilts out of them. It's surely going to happen. I'm not very worried about it because it just sits there waiting for me to feel like, today I'm going to make a teacup quilt, and then I will. And whenever that happens, it'll happen. Until then, I just keep adding to it. I love to do embroidery, and so embroidery gives my brain peace and happiness, and it's one of those things that makes me feel like I'm never wasting time. If you haven't learned how to do handwork, it is so simple. An 8-year-old can do embroidery. I know because I've taught many an 8-year-old to do embroidery. It's just this peaceful Zen thing to add into your life. I love my hardwood floor because I can just scooch over to iron, and I get to look out my bright, beautiful window while I'm there. So I iron, and then I'll show you the rest of this back wall. At the top of this back wall, I have a dresser with bookshelves on it. On the window side of the dresser, I keep all of my rulers that I use on a daily basis. These baskets hold projects, and they're projects either I'm going to make videos about or I'm just going to make because I want to. So these are just current, ongoing. I'm not working on them for the moment, but I'm going to in a minute baskets, and that is where I keep them. This has eclectic stuff in it, bias tapes and different kinds of things I use for specialty projects. And so each little basket has things that only probably make sense to me. They're specific to projects I plan to make in the future. I have a bunch of irons and just decor and things that are special. And then on top, of course, I keep my crumbs. The dresser holds all kinds of rick-rack, paddywhack stuff. It's just mostly full of UFOs. Each UFO is in a Ziploc bag or it's folded carefully together with itself. It's my UFO dresser, and I use it and track it and keep things in there as I need and desire. If you look quick, you'll see my rotating cutting mat and my 20-inch ruler tucked behind the dresser. Salvages and bins. These have my plaids in them, some vendor stuff, and this empty tub. I like an empty tub because you never know when I need to have an empty tub to fill with a fun new project. My drawer, this one is very orderly. It is housing a lot of things I use. It has extra scissors. It has all of my pre-wound bobbins that I need. These are my high-end ones that I use. And then it just has tools, all kinds of tools that I use all the time when quilting or appliquing or doing whatever it is I need to creatively do. In this last corner of my sewing room, I have a corner stashed with amazing things. And I want you to note that most of these cupboards and things are from thrift stores, as well as the bookshelves. They just work. On top, I just have buttons and extra, it's special bias tape stuff that I bought to use with my long arm, but I keep it down here. I have toys and safety pins and all kinds of little implement tools. This darling hedgehog my niece made me out of wool. I love it. It sits right next to my salvages. These are the ones I haven't put in my big bin yet. And then I love candles, and I actually take them out and light them because I just love them. And mementos. This little basket, it has clippies that I rarely use, but when I want them, they're there. And then I have extra threads, glitter threads, etc. And this bag could be a whole video in and of itself. It is my sewing bag that I take with me when I want to travel. The bucket underneath, it's just beautiful, and it hides my trash bag liners because I like things to look pretty. And over on the side, I have my major project I'm doing right now, and it is a big one. It's been taking up this space for a while, but I'm going to be finished with that project in a week, and I'll be putting all of that away. This pile is fabric I'm done with that needs to go back upstairs and be put with yardage. Underneath, in this funny little cupboard I keep all of my AccuQuilt Go stuff. I own the big studio cutter, and sometimes I wonder why. I love when I use these, and I do use them, but I don't use them as often as I think I will as I age. But I love the tumbler die especially, and I've used it many times. Starting on our last wall, notice the little packing boxes in the back. That's for sending things in the mail. I have that empty tub I need to fill. Here's my 2.5-inch squares. And underneath in the colored bins are extra projects that I'm working on. 1, 2, 3. They're just pretty and happy and fun, and there they go. Here is the studio cutter that I talked about, and I keep it covered. It's kind of an expensive piece of equipment. On the corner, I have my spare iron. I have 3 more tubs because I just grab them for little projects. Drawer 1 has our physical pattern for Mary Mouse, our embroidery pattern. And this other drawer is spare scissors. Oftentimes I'll have people come and sew and quilt with me. I just need tons of scissors when that happens. These bins are project bins, and I order them and get them ready at the first of the year so I can know what I'm going to sew next. And these are quilt tops I've already finished. I just need to run upstairs, grab backs, put them on zippers, and quilt them, and they will be ready to donate. They're just fun to make, and I love to make baby quilts. So I just make them and fill up this bin, and then I go quilt them. This is just beauty. I made it, and it goes here to cover up all the many things underneath of it. I just have projects. Here's those triangles. The markers are behind it. They color on fabric. These are all UFOs and plans. They're things I plan to do in a minute. The bins have projects I'm going to do, and I really do open this and work on these first. There's also tools. This fabric right here, this is fabric I want to use up. So I use it first when I'm doing charity quilts. They're go-to fabrics. There are a few tools here, but mostly these are empty bins because when I'm doing a project and I need a bin to put the project in, this is where I reach to pull out an empty bin and use it for my projects. There's supplies. Probably the most important thing I have is all of my zillions of gallon bags. I use them for everything. I recycle them and recycle them. If you look close on this, it says it's for black something something. It used to have a different project in it. I don't label them anymore. I simply use the bags to keep things in so they can stay fresh and clean and dust free. My sewing room isn't that big. It's about 10 feet by 11-ish, and so I want you to see how I stack things. I have a base, and then I put a shelf on it, and I use vertical space. So everywhere you've noticed when I've given this tour, I go all the way up the wall. That is my most helpful idea for you. I'm so glad you came to visit today. Stay merry and creative.